One, Avs fans seem to be down on Ritchie, Calum Ritchie, who they picked in the first round. Discuss what kind of player he is and why the Avs fans should be excited for him and the time frame to the NHL. Two, how do you differentiate in your rankings between a high floor, lower ceiling safe prospect and a lower floor, higher ceiling player? That's a really good question, that second part from Luke, but let's answer the first one. Calum Ritchie, I thought was a great value pick. I listed him as now the number one prospect in Colorado's system. Not a very high bar to clear right now. Oscar Olausson is still a good player. He's got plenty of time to develop, but I just think that Calum Ritchie, with his size and his skill, are going to be a chance, give him a chance to be a better player. So I like Calum Ritchie quite a bit. I think that he's a great pick and a great fit for Colorado and where they're going. He played through injury this year, so we didn't even get to see him at full go. And so that was absolutely something that we would want to know a little bit more about. So, seeing how he can play when he's fully healthy. This is a guy that battles, and he's got high compete level and he's got skill. So that's a good thing. In terms of differentiating between players with a high floor, low ceiling, or lower floor, high ceiling, it really just goes player by player. How high is the floor? It's really tough to know. Until we see these players in the NHL, we can't judge their floor that well. But you look at a guy like a Colby Barlow, he might not have the highest ceiling, but he's already at such a high level that you feel like, hey, he just needs to incrementally get better and a little quicker here, a little one thing, a degree difference here or there. And that's going to allow him to have success. And that's why, you like those players when they get picked. But, I always try to err on the side of, who do I think is going to be the best player? And then if the ceiling is second line center versus a number 4 defenseman, I might actually go with the center that time. Because I feel like forwards are a little easier to project out. Just a little bit. It's not easy by any means. But I think in a lot of cases, you might go the other way. You might say the defenseman is better. But I do think that, for me, upside carries a lot of value. It carries a lot of risk, but it carries a lot of value. And I will always err on the side of the player with the higher upside versus the player with the higher floor. I think there were a lot of high floor selections earlier in the draft. And that's where, my list, you can see the differentiation between my list and what an NHL list looks like. There's a lot more of risk management going on in NHL scouting departments because they want players that are going to play in the NHL. You can't miss on your first round pick anymore. You just can't do it. And so sometimes you're going to go safe. And I think that some teams did.